Bengals fans, make sure you guys give us a like on today's video. As you can tell, we are in a like battle against our Ravens channel, an August like battle. We've got a nice, comfortable lead here, but let's keep the pedal to the metal against those Baltimore Ravens. Do us a favor, hit that thumbs up icon as you should before every Bengals Breakdown video that you watch. So help us beat the Ravens in our like battle and hit that like button for us right now. Houday Nation, once again, it is game day in the jungle as the Bengals get ready to take on the Indianapolis Colts in the preseason finale at Paycor Stadium on Thursday Night Football. And on today's show, we're going to be taking a look at 10 players to watch during the Bengals preseason finale against the Indianapolis Colts. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. My first big question is, will DJ Turner and/or Dax Hill play? That is the question I want to know. Zac Taylor said most of the starters probably not going to play, but some starters could certainly go out there and play for Cincinnati in the preseason finale on Thursday night. Obviously, these two guys are competing for that cornerback 2 spot to see who's going to be the guy that goes out there opposite Cam Taylor-Britt. Both these guys are going to play throughout the year, but who's going to be their starter and their main cornerback 2 guy? That is the question they're trying to find out. And Dax Hill has really done a nice job in the preseason and throughout training camp as well. I thought he's looked really good in the snaps that he's been out there for Cincinnati in the preseason. He's got some tackles. He's got some pass breakups. Nearly had a miraculous interception the first preseason game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's a battle that we've all been looking at very closely throughout training camp. And it'll be interesting to see if Zac Taylor opts to have either of those two guys go out there and play in this preseason finale for the Bengals at home against the Colts. So I'm certainly going to be interested to see if they get out there and get some action, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did not whatsoever. So name a player you'll be watching closely on Thursday night. Let us know down in the comments of today's video. It is the pinned comment of today's show, so if that ad comes here on YouTube, that's totally fine. Take advantage of it. Get down in the comment section and let us know a player that you'll be watching closely on Thursday night. Another guy I've got my eye on is nickel Jalen Davis. Jalen Davis has been a part of the Bengals for several years now. I'm starting to think that he might be on the outside looking in for Cincinnati when it comes to that nickel position. Of course, he has been Mike Hilton's backup. That's kind of his role at this point. He plays that nickel on the inside there against those kind of slot receivers typically. And, with the emergence of another guy, a young guy, a 7th-round guy, which we'll get to in a moment, has really made Jalen Davis' job a lot trickier in terms of making the roster for the Bengals. And that guy that's kind of giving him fits is Daijahn Anthony, the Bengals' 7th-round rookie out of Ole Miss. I think when the Bengals drafted him, it's a 7th-rounder. You're not necessarily guaranteeing a 7th-rounder a spot on your roster, but I think Daijahn Anthony has really opened up a lot of eyes in the building for Cincinnati. And he's played really well. He's dealing with that fractured nose, but he's still playing through it. And I'm going to have a close eye on Daijahn Anthony for this game as well. I think he needs to go out there and finish this preseason strong for Cincinnati. I am starting to think that he's probably going to be on the roster, but I think the staff would like to see one more good game out of Daijahn Anthony, and I think he's going to get significant reps on Thursday night for the Bengals. So will Daijahn Anthony make the roster? Let us know what you think in the comments section. Type Y for yes or type N for no. Again, sound off for us in the comments. Will Daijahn Anthony make the roster for Cincinnati? Another guy that we've talked a ton about on the defensive side is Maema Njongmeta. Look, if he does what he's done the past 2 games, the Bengals are basically backed into having to put him on the roster, right? I think he will eventually make the 53-man roster for the Cincinnati Bengals, but I think they would like to see another good performance out of him on Thursday night for Cincinnati. Really excited about Maema Njongmeta, of course, undrafted free agent linebacker out of Wisconsin. He's been kind of the main story for the Bengals this preseason to this point. He's played really, really well, and I think one more good performance will almost guarantee him a spot on the Bengals 53-man roster. Staying on the defensive side of the ball, another rookie, Cedric Johnson out of Ole Miss. The Bengals, of course, took in the 6th round of the draft. that whole defensive line room, tackles and edge guys alike, that's the room that you're really worried about if you're Cincinnati. They took a guy on that edge spot in Cedric Johnson in the 6th round of the draft, and I thought he's shown some good things to this point. I want to see him continue to do that because, especially with the lack of depth that the Bengals kind of have at that spot, he might be forced into some playing time as a 6th-round rookie. So don't be surprised if that happens, if you're Cedric Johnson and the Cincinnati Bengals. This is the room that we spent a lot of time talking about. Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard, those are your main guys. Joseph Osai is going to get pushed into a bigger role. And with that injury to Myles Murphy, still some optimism that he's going to be out there week 1 for Cincinnati. But if he's not, that puts even more pressure on Cedric Johnson to go out there and produce for Lou Anarumo's defense. We're certainly going to be watching that very closely. We'll continue with our players to watch here in a moment. But first, I want to give a shout-out to our friends over at Game Time because today's show is presented by Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. With MLB teams trying to make a playoff push, you can get tickets on Game Time to watch the Cincinnati Reds, who, of course, have been on a bit of the struggle bus here over the past few days. You can also get tickets and to watch the Cincinnati Bengals and get ready for football season at Paycor Stadium. My 2 favorite features on Game Time. 1, the all-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout like lots of other ticketing apps. Secondly, I love the views from your seat. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. I want to take a look at these 2 guys kind of together collectively for Cincinnati at that running back position. That, of course, is Elijah Collins and Noah Cain for the Cincinnati Bengals. These guys are going to get a lot of reps in this game for Cincinnati. I'm interested to see if they can kind of step up and do a good job for the Bengals. Both these guys had long college careers, with Collins being a Michigan State guy before eventually transferring over to Oklahoma State. And Noah Cain, of course, finishing his career at LSU after starting it at Penn State. And these guys are going to have an opportunity to, kind of force the Bengals into not going out and getting another running back. Of course, Chris Evans is out for the season for Cincinnati. And there's a lot of speculation that they might go elsewhere, kind of the waiver wire or whatever, to pick up another back. Because your 3 main backs are locked in with Zach Moss, Chase Brown, and Travion Williams. But if you're looking to get another back into that fold, it might be somewhere else. Like we've thrown the name of Samaje Perine out a lot as well. So it's up to these 2 guys to step up and say, you know what, if we're going to need an extra running back on the practice squad, or heck, maybe even the 53-man roster, we are capable of doing that. So both these guys are going to get a ton of reps, and I'm really looking forward to watching them compete Thursday night for Cincinnati. Again, another opportunity for you guys to get interactive with our show here at Bengals Breakdown. Will the Bengals add another running back before the start of the regular season? Let us know what you think. Type 1 for yes or 0 for no. Sound off for us in the comments of today's show. A guy that's continued to make this list for me throughout the entirety of the preseason for the Cincinnati Bengals is Tanner McLachlan, the tight end out of Arizona. I've been high on this kid, right? But the Bengals have a lot of guys in that tight end room, and he really hasn't popped. He hasn't done anything poorly in the preseason, but he really hasn't gone out there and played really, really well for the Bengals. So I'll be interested to see if he has more opportunity in this game. I would like to see some balls thrown his way a little bit more often as he competes for a spot in that tight end room for Cincinnati. Somebody up here isn't going to make it. Cam Grandy, I don't think will. But there's a good chance that someone else on this depth chart graphic doesn't as well. Could that be Tanner Hudson? Could that be Tanner McLachlan? Don't think it'll be Sample, obviously not Gesicki or All. But I think one of the Tanners probably is going to go. Which one will it be? Really excited to see what Tanner McLachlan can do Thursday night for the Bengals. Also, looking at that center position, Matt Lee, another rookie, 7th-round guy out of the U. He played the entirety of last week's game against the Bears at center. Want to see him get a lot more time out there on Thursday night as well. He's a guy that's really trying to be that backup center behind Ted Karras. I think he's in kind of a battle with Trey Hill, and it seems like he's kind of got an upper leg on that battle with Trey Hill. Trey Hill was playing some more guard last week against Chicago. And I look at Trey Hill as probably going to be a guy that's more on the outside looking in, kind of a practice squad guy for Cincinnati. Of course, they might take 9, they might take 10 on the line. We'll see. But I think Matt Lee's going to have a spot on the roster for the Bengals, 7th-round rookie out of Miami. Really hope he plays a lot of snaps again for Cincinnati tonight, and hopefully he plays well yet again because I thought he played really admirably against the Bears last week. So predict the score for me in the comments section of the Bengals versus the Colts. Give us a score, sound off for us once again in the comments of today's show. And lastly on this list, we got Jaxson Kirkland. Look, it seems like Jaxson Kirkland is going to make this team for the Bengals at that tackle position, whether he's on the left side or the right side. So I want to have some trust in the backup tackles because, it's the NFL. If somebody gets hurt, we obviously know Trent Brown's been dealing with some, tightness, some back issues. Amarius Mims is out. We got to have someone in that backup slot that can come in and play well. Jaxson Kirkland's going to be a guy that's going to have opportunity. We'll see how he plays. Also, another guy that I'm looking at is Cody Ford. We got him listed as a guard here, but he's kind of their next tackle that they'll throw out there at that spot. So really looking forward to how Jaxson Kirkland plays tonight. It's going to be a big game for us, for him rather, and he's got to go out there and really earn the trust of the Bengals as someone that could potentially step up there and protect Joe Burrow if that ultimately is what has to happen. Remember to subscribe to our channel here at Bengals Breakdown. We have another watch party coming up tonight. Really excited for that. Hope you can stop by, join us. We're going to have a good time. So hit that sub button, youtube.com/BengalsTV.